Hello, I'm 2118265, and today for assignment 3 of Process Engineering Fundamentals A, I'm going to be reproducing a volcano. For this experiment, you're going to need some citric acid, some baking soda, otherwise known as bicarbonate soda, and then some water and some dishwashing liquid. The dishwashing liquid is going to be used so that the bubbles that are going to be produced due to the CO2 are going to be more visible. I'm doing this experiment outside because one of the products of this reaction is CO2, and as most people know, CO2 is toxic in large quantities. So what I'm going to do is I'm doing it outside so that any CO2 that is produced, which is going to be in small quantities so it's safe, will still go out into the atmosphere and not harm me. I'm also going to be using some safety goggles as well as a lab coat. And so I brought the camera in a bit closer so hopefully you'll be able to see the reaction a lot easier. I've built myself a balancing scale, as you can see, and what I've done is I've just cut some bottles in half, attached it to a steady pole, and I've added some weight that I know. So currently I'm sitting with 30 grams worth of weight on this side, and I have on the other side another container in which I'm going to actually be doing my reaction in. So I'm just going to get the container now. Okay, so this is my 30 gram container, and I've got another 35 gram container here at the bottom. It's a lot wider, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this container inside. And the reason I'm doing this is because once I add the baking soda and the citric acid together, there's going to be a neutralization reaction, and as it produces CO2, it's going to start to form bubbles, and this is going to rise up with the help of the dish soap and will potentially come out of the container that I've got here and will be falling into this bottom container. The reason why I'm doing this is so that I can work out the difference in mass between what I've put in, the inputs, and then what's left remaining, and whatever is missing or whatever difference in mass there is, that's going to be the amount of CO2 produced for this reaction. So we're going to get started right now. What we're going to do first is we're going to add about 60 milliliters of water into our container. Alright. What we're then going to do is I've got some bicarbonate soda. I'm going to take, using my measuring spoons, this is half a teaspoon, so that's 2.5 milliliters worth of, and I'm going to get 2.5 milliliters worth of baking soda. Alright, so that's 2.5 milliliters worth of baking soda. So I'm just going to add that in. Alright, great. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a few drops of the dish soap into this mixture. Alright, okay, so as you can see, there's some dish soap in there, there's some bicarbonate soda at the bottom, and it's all in water. So I'm just going to put that settled down here. Then what I've got here is I've got another container. The mass of this doesn't really matter, but all I'm going to use this for is I'm going to use this to make another mixture using citric acid and water. So I'm just going to already start that now. I've got 30 milliliters of water here. I'm just going to add this into this container. Alright. Then I've got citric acid over here. And I'm going to add another half a teaspoon of the citric acid into this. So just get the spoon. 2.5 milliliters. So just fill it to the top. Get a bit of spilling. Alright, so that's our citric acid. We're just going to add this into this container. Then what we've got here is a citric acid mixture and a baking soda mixture. So we're just going to stir the citric acid around with the water in order to dilute the citric acid a bit, dissolve a little. Okay, perfect. Then what I've got here is I've got a straw, just a normal plastic straw, and I'm going to start stirring this baking soda, dishwashing liquid and water mixture, just like that. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to leave this out of the container, but you can already see a bit of bubbles. That's just due to the soap. I'll place it back into the filling in the capture container now. So all you do is you just add a little bit of this in, and then the reaction forms. Give it a bit more of a stir. there you have it. Your little mini volcano. You can see the bubbles that have formed.